Welcome to Pixel Composer 1.19.8. So this version introduced a 3D particle that's pretty big, but before that we're gonna talk about other stuff first. So first we have the loop file. This is a new type of inline loops, which instead of just getting all the arrays and then processing all at once, this one will take in a file path or a directory path. It's gonna iterate to every file in that path, in that folders. So that's gonna be some performance improvement because instead of having to load all the texture in the folder into one array, now it's just gonna process image by image. Then we have a new path length node. So this node will, as the name suggests, take in the path and then return out the length of that path in pixels. And it can be quite useful, like in this example when I use it with the repeat node, right, to calculate the amount of repetition you need to fill a path. And the repeat node also got some new improvement as well to be able to make this image possible. There's new rotate along path properties and there's new anchoring properties. Next we have a new nodes. We have the mkpile. This is a node that will take in an image and then pile it. Just like that. It's really simple, really niche, really specific, but sometimes you want to pile like a bunch of image, right? And it can be kind of annoying. You have to copy or use repeat or whatever. Now you can just put it in an mkpile. You can control stuff like the angle of repose, the angle where the pile will start to fall apart. You can control like some randomization and another property to control how your pile will looks. The mk trees got new texture properties, so now you can give texture to the tree trunks or the tree branch to create more interesting trees. And then we have the 3D stuff. So first we have the 3D edge. This is... Wait, what? Oh my god. What the... Alright, so now there's different wireframe mode. It can either be only the solid plus wireframes, or only wireframes. Then we have the mirror 3D node, which allow you to mirror the 3D objects. Then the 3D repeat node got some improvement. We have a new 3D repeat patterns. We have more properties. And we have the new scene effector. So you can give it a 3D scene and you can control like the different transformation properties using these effectors. The 3D part also now got multi-anchor support. So now you can select multiple anchor and then do transformation, rotation, and scale. And then we have the 3D particle. This is kind of like the highlight feature of this version and might be the highlight feature of the 1.19 altogether, even though I didn't plan to implement it now. It's on the roadmaps, but it's quite further away, but there we have it, 3D particle. The property here is similar. I try to parallel the 2D particle side of things. We don't have the wiggle support yet, but you can follow part. It has some basic physics, it has some ground and ground collision, and all the other properties. Instead of 2D, it now become 3D stuff. You can have it spawn from different shapes. You can have it spawn from the mesh vertices or part. There's no 3D particle VFX yet. I'm in the process of rewriting the entire VFX system, so currently we only have the basic particle. Another node that comes with this version is the 3D instancer. It uses the same code base as the 3D particles, and it allows you to create or scatter a bunch of objects with better performance than the 3D repeat node. So with 3D repeat, if I try to repeat like 1000 objects with some scattering properties, then the FPS will be terrible. And here I just use it to create a basic scene. One downside of using the 3D instancer is that because it uses different way to like render object, you have less flexibility of what you can do with the output. With 3D repeat node, you can modify it even further using stuff like the effector that are also being added in this version. But with the instancer, you cannot modify anything after you instant the object. You can only output it to the 3D scenes. Right, so it's become a choice, right? Do you want to repeat a bunch of objects, but you cannot do anything else afterwards? You can just use instancer. But if you want to repeat a bunch of objects and then modify it afterwards, then you might want to use the repeat. There are also a bunch of improvement on both 2D and 3D as well. The full list will be in the description. And as usual, we have a series of bug fix in this version, showing on the screen right now. But yeah, this version has been quite heavy on the 3D stuff, right? It's definitely not because there are some other software being released around this time that are really good at 2D stuff and I have a feeling that I have to branch off again. Definitely not that at all. And yeah, I will continue working on improving the particle system, the VFX system, now that we have 3D support. I think there's a lot I could do, right, with the particle system in the generals. Like I said, I'm planning to rework the VFX system again to make it more modular, to make it more performance. So that will come in the next version. But for currently right now, that will be it for today's video. So thank you everyone for watching. Special thanks for all the Patreon supporters. And see you in the next one.